Straight ahead on CCX News, a Plymouth grocery store worker at the right place at the right time. What he did that has many calling him a hero. Plus, remembering a tireless advocate to help the hungry. The mark Richard Proudfit not only left on his community, but on children in need around the world. And a special anniversary for a first-of-its-kind place, not only here in the northwest suburbs, but in the entire Midwest. CCX News starts right now. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. Medical emergencies can happen in the blink of an eye and just about anywhere, including at a Plymouth Cub Foods. An employee there relied on first responder training to save a life. Reporter Meredith Hackler introduces us to the employee who many are now calling a hero.
Just minding my own business, doing my job, and...
It was just a normal Monday for Rick Phelps. He was stocking shelves, and then he heard the call.
It's about 11 or so, and a code green came out over the radio, and which is a medical emergency. So I responded to that. It was in aisle 10. Told them I was on my way. They kind of know what I do on the side.
Phelps is a volunteer firefighter in St. Francis. While he's used his training before, he's never had to use it to this extent.
Went to check his pulse and for any respiration. He had neither, so I started CPR. When I was down doing compressions, our security came up and asked him to go get the AED.
If not for the teamwork of Cub staff as well as Rick's training in this AED, it's unknown if the victim would still be alive.
Actually, my chief and assistant chief both work for North, and they informed me that he was undergoing surgery with a 90% blockage, and the prognosis was excellent.
Phelps has long been admired at the Plymouth Cub for his hard work. His skill set makes him an even larger asset.
It's really comforting to have Rick here, knowing that he's as trained as he is. And I've seen him in action, and I know he jumps right in, so it's very comforting.
Many are calling him a hero.
If somebody saved my life, I'd say they're a hero.
Done. I'm done here.
But he says he was just doing his job.
I was just doing what I was trained to do, really. That's what it is.
In Plymouth, Meredith Hackler, CCX News.
Good guy to have around. We're learning more now about a man shot and killed at a home in Plymouth. The Hennepin County Medical Examiner says 42-year-old Aaron Johnson of St. Paul died from a gunshot wound to the hip. It happened Sunday night inside a home in the 3100 block of Walnut Grove Lane. Johnson died early the next day. When police arrived, they arrested a man who greeted them at the front door. The Star Tribune identified that man as a defense attorney from Albuquerque, New Mexico. He's been released from custody pending further investigation by the Plymouth Police Department. Meanwhile, a Golden Valley man has died from injuries sustained in a motor vehicle crash in Crystal. It happened during the pre-dawn hours of October 25th. Crystal police say a car driven by 85-year-old Harlan Clayson collided with a large truck delivering a dumpster. Clayson died almost 2 weeks later. The driver of the truck was cited for several violations, including an inoperable taillight. In other news, the state announced this week a significant expansion by a manufacturing company in Rogers. Graco plans to more than double in size and add more than 80 jobs. It would be the largest construction project in the city's history. The new jobs are expected to be added within 4 years and pay almost $20 an hour. Graco will receive funding from the state once it meets its hiring goals. Some sad news now to pass along involving a man who not only left a considerable mark on the community, but on children in need around the world. The founder of Feed My Starving Children, Richard Proudfit, has died. The nonprofit packs millions of meals for malnourished children overseas. It was located for many years in Brooklyn Park before moving to Coon Rapids. After starting that nonprofit, Proudfit went on to start another, Kids Against Hunger in New Hope. Proudfit often traveled to impoverished nations himself, making sure the food got delivered despite considerable challenges. Proudfit was 88 years old. 1 year ago, a home in Brooklyn Center for kids with life-threatening conditions opened its doors. It was the first of its kind in the Midwest. And as Delane Cleveland reports, Crescent Cove has already made a big impact on the lives of families.
We opened this home a year ago, Crescent Cove, here in Brooklyn Center.
In a perfect world,
There's a lot of play here, a lot of love, a lot of music, a lot of gentleness.
every child would be born healthy.
The reason that we come here is because of our daughter, Charlie.
But life can occasionally throw unexpected curveballs to the youngest and most vulnerable.
She is the youngest of 4. She has holoprosencephaly, which is a diagnosis that is considered non-compatible with life.
Joe Shifsky's daughter, Charlie, is almost 7, and in her short life, she's experienced a host of challenges.
She's got cerebral palsy, epilepsy, diabetes insipidus. She has a whole plethora of diagnoses.
Charlie's condition requires round-the-clock care,
Well, this was her this summer. As you can see, she's in a full body cast.
leaving Joe and her family without the opportunity for many breaks.
Being a special needs family is really isolating. Really isolating.
That is until Crescent Cove in Brooklyn Center opened its doors. It's twice provided Charlie with a home away from home,
It's amazing.
while Joe could take a short break.
An opportunity to step away and just catch her breath.
That's just one example of the impact Crescent Cove has made on families over the past year.
All of our staff and volunteers are incredible people.
Katie Lindenfelser is the executive director of Crescent Cove. The home has 6 bedrooms and space for therapy and recreation. Staff members have provided respite for 35 families since it opened.
Everything that we do and provide for families is at no cost to them.
Generous donations help to make that possible, but in the coming months and years, this home will fulfill a more difficult role.
We know that this is a home that holds a lot of joy, but also a lot of sorrow. So as we look to next year, we know that there'll be families who aren't just leaving with big smiles that they had a break. There'll be lots of tears shed as well.
Tears because Crescent Cove also serves as a hospice facility for children. It's a function that families hope they'll never have to utilize. Yet it's also why Joe and her family feel comfortable taking Charlie here.
So it's easy for us to leave her in the care of the staff here, knowing that if it was end of life for her, it would be beautiful.
In Brooklyn Center, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Crescent Cove has an operating budget of $2 million, which allows them to care for children 24/7. If you'd like to help, we have a link on our website, ccxmedia.org. Still ahead, we visit a Golden Valley school that is steeped in tradition. Plus, after 3 straight runner-up finishes at the state tournament, the Hopkins girls basketball team gets set to take another shot at a title. But first, turning colder. Friday, there's a chance for light snow. The restaurant that helped revitalize downtown Robbinsdale is moving to Minneapolis, or at least temporarily, that is. A trio of owners at Travail plan to run a pop-up restaurant on Hennepin Avenue while their future 2-story Robbinsdale home gets built. Their existing location across the street will be remodeled and become the new home for Pig Ate My Pizza, the owner's sister restaurant. The new Travail expects to open up this summer, and the new Pig Ate My Pizza should be ready by late spring. In today's school spotlight, a Catholic school rich in tradition. Good Shepherd School in Golden Valley has been around for almost 60 years. Teachers and staff empower students through education, faith, and service to the community. Reporter Sonia Goins has more in today's school spotlight.
Right, you can imagine if all men and women and all of creation only treated each other with love. Can you imagine just like one day of that?
Teachers and staff at Good Shepherd pride themselves on giving students the tools they need to be successful. Besides core studies like math and science,
Then we're acting in accord with who we're created to be.
students also receive life lessons that address social and spiritual growth.
Remember that that's true, huh? That you deserve nothing less than to be loved.
During Worship Wednesdays, Father Luke McCord teaches scripture to students. He says it's one of his favorite things to do.
What we see with the kids is the sense of awe and wonder and almost a fearlessness in asking questions that somehow between 5th grade and being adults we lose.
So draw some boxes underneath the tree.
At the beginning of the school year, kindergartners are paired with 6th graders through a buddy program.
And we play, we do art
projects, the kids get really excited to see them in the hallway, and it's just one of those good ways for them to know that they have a big kid as a friend and somebody that wants them at the school. It helps bring that community back.
What are you on now? Big bow?
The program allows big kids to be leaders, while the little ones have an advocate in their corner.
He's a good listener. He's silent at mass. He's really respectful. He's a good buddy.
Helping the local community is a big part of the curriculum at Good Shepherd. Students work on many projects throughout the year, including activities with seniors and packing food at Feed My Starving Children.
I liked doing Feed My Starving Children because it gave food for kids when they didn't have food and made them healthier.
Building interpersonal skills is part of the fundamentals at the private school.
Learning a lot of things, my teachers and mostly my friends. Just interacting with each other.
All right, 6th graders, I need you to come into the room.
The family-like atmosphere and the joy on the students' faces create a legacy of learning for some teachers.
To be here 25 years and having students that I taught come back and be here at Good Shepherd to teach right alongside me is really just a tribute to what this school is and the community and the family aspect that we have here in this little building that we are. It's all about family.
In Golden Valley, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Still ahead, some local mayors who are finding out all about the life of pie. But first, the Champlin Park Coon Rapids girls hockey team skates into the season with high hopes. John Jacobson is in next.
The Hopkins girls basketball team is always one of the best in the state and will be again this winter as the Royals are on the hunt for their first state title since 2015. Here's Jason Malillo with a preview.
The Hopkins girls basketball team won state titles in 2011, 12, 13, and 15. But the last 3 seasons, the Royals have lost in the championship game.
I hear more about coming up short the last 3 years than when we won it 3 years in a row.
Head coach Brian Cosgrove says losing in 3 consecutive finals doesn't really bother him all that much. Hopkins is a perennial power and has been in the state final 8 of the last 9 years.
The bar's set extremely high. I'm okay with that. We're going to work extremely hard. And, hopefully we do well. If we don't, that's okay too. The sun's still going to come up in the morning, and I still got to go teach kindergartners.
The Royals bring back 3 starters this season, including one of the best players in the state in junior guard Paige Beckers. As always, Hopkins will play relentless defense in order to trigger fast offense.
There's not really much of a choice when you come here to play basketball. Defense comes first, and that's what we focus on for the most part, and that's what we get amped up on. So all of our energy goes to defense first, and then offense goes with it.
We want to keep that defensive pressure up. We want to get teams uncomfortable on offense so they turn the ball over, don't want to bring the ball up, and which will then get our offense moving as well.
Hopkins will be fairly young this season, but its players never seem to lack focus or intensity, a testament to how dedicated they are to the program.
Everyone talks about a culture and that sort of thing. I think that's what we've done here at Hopkins. We expect to play as hard as we possibly can every day. We want to play very fast, and we want to be very intelligent about the way we play. And I think we've kind of done that over the years, so that's more or less our style.
A style that should have the Royals in the mix again as one of the best teams in the state. Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
The Royals open the season at the Pat Patterson Invitational at Hamlin next Friday and Saturday, facing Lakeville South and then Stillwater. The Champlin Park Coon Rapids girls hockey team captured the West Division title in the Northwest Suburban Conference a year ago. As Jay Wilcox reports, the hopes are high for this winter in this program.
There's some buzz around the Champlin Park Coon Rapids program. While they did graduate some key players, returners and talented youngsters are meshing well.
Yeah, for sure we did lose some power players, but I think we have a lot of young girls that are going to come up and make something happen. They're going to find a spot on the team, and it's going to be good.
I'm really impressed with the underclassmen especially. They've put so much time in, and just them coming into a new program, they're willing to work hard, stay after practice, do the dry land. They're doing a lot of the extra things, and some of them got some playing time in our last game on Saturday, so it's really good to see the underclassmen stepping up.
One area that CPCR can match anyone, goaltending. Bailey Schuck is superb and has capable backups too.
Yeah, I think Bailey Shuck can beat anybody at any time. She's that good. I mean, you could throw 50 pucks at her and might not get one past her. We have a couple 2-3 defensemen are strong, and we got some scoring up front. We're just going to have everybody play their roles to do it.
The early schedule is very tough. CPCR lost a close one to Burnsville and tied Centennial. They have Maple Grove next.
For sure, I know that the beginning of the season we're playing Andover, Centennial, Maple Grove early, and it's nice to see the competitiveness that they can force on us and make us play better and push us to do better.
Yeah, it's always good to start hard and see where we're at and then kind of progress from there and know what we have to change and what we have to do. So it's good to start hard.
Surviving the early tests will push Champlin Park Coon Rapids towards some end-of-season goals.
Goals for the season would definitely be to win our first game in sections at least. I know since I've been playing we haven't won our first game yet or made it past the quarterfinals, but definitely focus on sections first and doing good there. Maybe win another conference championship like we did last year, conference title.
They're ready to work toward those achievements. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Champlin Park, Coon Rapids hosts Maple Grove Saturday night at 7 o'clock at the Ice Forum in Champlin. The team again splits practices and games between that rink and Coon Rapids Ice Center. Shannon, back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Up next, whipped with whipped cream. Some local mayors get a face full. We'll have that story when we come back. And finally, we're used to politicians talking about everyone getting a piece of the pie, but today they took the whole thing for themselves. The mayors of Golden Valley, New Hope, and Crystal signed up to take pies to the face in exchange for donations to a YMCA fundraiser. $10 gave you one vote. Whoever got the most votes in a round got a heaping helping of face pie. In the 11 o'clock round, Kathy Hempkin of New Hope faced off against Golden Valley's Shep Harris and tied. No recounts here, though. Both mayors got their own pie.
And the mayor of Crystal graciously administered those pies to us. So that's what I'm doing here, and I think that's a great thing to do.
Hempkin had a chance to get revenge on Mayor Adams in the next hour if she could only get enough votes. And Golden Valley's mayor was ready to help or hurt her cause based on one key factor.
It depends on which mayor, Crystal or New Hope, is nicer to me. So I still haven't made up my mind yet.
So you're willing to accept bribes?
Oh, clearly on this, unabashedly, yes. I'm not going to skirt around any of the issues. All bribes are welcome, for a good cause like the YMCA.
Absolutely. Despite frantic last-minute calls for votes, it wasn't enough. The vote was another tie and another pie for both candidates. The YMCA hopes to raise $96,000 with this fundraising campaign, and it's good to see the mayors are all good sports. That's all the time we have for now. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here Friday.